Hello? Can you hear me? I am searching, whether it's the cities, the quiet suburbs, or in the beauty of nature. I will find it. In the crevices. In the darkness. Welcome to Lost or Found.
Nope, we are not going to talk about quarantine. We are going to talk about the film that inspired quarantine, the 2007 film Wreck. Written and directed by James Balaguero and Paco Plaza. A film crew looks to document the lives of firefighters who work on the third shift for their show called While You're Asleep. Angela Vidal, played by Manuela Velasco, and her cameraman interview and interact with firefighters on what appears to be at first a slow night. We meet Manu, played by Farah Terraza, and Alex, played by David Vert, as they take a tour of the fire station. An emergency call about a woman screaming and trapped in her apartment bring the crew to action that they were actually looking for. Once they reach the apartment building, they are met by the tenants of the building, who Angela begins to interview to find out exactly what's going on. After taking some of the accounts from the tenants of the building about the status of the woman and what they heard throughout the night. Eventually, they make their way up the stairs into the woman's apartment. Now, at the time, there's one of the cops who are there who refuses to allow the filming, but Angela is determined to keep going. And what they eventually film is a woman who is at the end of a hallway and ends up charging and attacking one of the cops. Now, in the scene, she bites into him, the scene is so gruesome how she rips the skin from his neck and he ends up start bleeding. They eventually retreat from the apartment and go downstairs to try to get help. But once they make it downstairs, they soon find out that, well, their version of the CDC decided to quarantine the entire building. This sets things in motion, as they are not allowed to leave the building and wonder exactly what's going on inside, which sets everything in motion, and the night of terror has just begun. The fact that they are stuck in this building with no escape and wondering exactly what's going on inside the building as well as outside the building adds the intensity of this film. The violent attacks by the tenants who slowly become infected are done very, very well, and no CGI, practical effects. The blood scenes are amazing. There is one scene that's actually a perfect example of this is when they're downstairs trying to figure out what's happening after the cop got attacked by the old woman, and all of a sudden you see and hear Alex fall from the top of the stairs all the way down, head first, blood all over the floor, and they want to move him, but they were still wondering what the hell is going on. I mean, that right there showed you that this film was ready to basically take it to another level. Now, what also adds to this film is you have this little girl, Jennifer, played by Claudia Silva, who you feel bad for exactly what's going on. The fact that she's stuck in this building, but the fact that she has a fever and she's sick and her mom is adamant it's tonsillitis. And eventually what you find out when they have a doctor come in is that there was a dog that went to a vet called Max who had an unknown infection, which led them to basically quarantine this building where the dog was from, and the dog belonged to Jennifer. As the film continues, you get a sense of the infection that's spreading in this building, as well as the fact that there is no escape for them to leave. Then they start laying the blame at one another. This is prior to Jennifer being, turning because of the infection, but you have all these conspiracy theories from nuclear to biological to the Chinese did it. Everything adds an element of this film being the fact that you're trapped, nowhere to go, and you don't know who is infected or what. But once they realize that there is a suite on the top floor that apparently is owned by a gentleman who rarely comes around and nobody ever hears anything, adds a certain mystery to this film. Now, as the film continues to progress, eventually we go towards the ending when they finally go upstairs, and I gotta tell you, this is one of the films that the ending lived up to some kind of expectation, because how the film is intense, and I mean the stairwell scenes were used very, very well in this film. The stairwell was a main component of a majority of the attacks and the attempts to escape in this film. But the fact is that once you get into that suite and you find out what's in there and the way the film ends, it left you questioning what exactly happened to Angela and what exactly was in this suite that looked like it was a medical lab, some kind of experimentation. You had a cross, so you had a lot of stuff that was added on to the ending of this film. This film was intense. This film was great, and it did inspire Quarantine. Now, the debate has always been between which is better, the original or the remake. I'll leave it up to you to decide. But if there was no Wreck, there will be no Quarantine. I'm just going to leave it at that. But yes, Wreck is a great found footage horror film. For me, it's possibly one of the greatest. So if you haven't seen Wreck and you've seen Quarantine, watch Wreck. It is a great film. The acting is great. It is an intense movie. I'm telling you, the scenes in those stairs are so amazing, and the violence of this film is awesome. A lot of blood, but it is truly, truly intense. And the performance of Manuela Velasco as Angela Vidal was superb. So yes, Wreck 2007, I found one of the best films, according to me. This is JR, Horror Fiend TV, Lost or Found. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share. We have a lot coming your way because what's coming? October is around the corner. And for us horror fans, October is like a sacred month. So, once again, GR, Horror Fiend TV, Lost or Found. Peace.